All right, so hour number 1 of the ThunderDome. It's the ThunderDome. That's right, Vince McMahon kicks the show off, middle of the ring, welcoming us all to the ThunderDome. The Fiend intro. And by the way, before I even continue, man, I want to thank everybody who joined me for yesterday's podcast live stream, man. We had a lot of fun. That was the most fun I've had in a while talking pro wrestling with you guys, man. We had some fun with the old school WrestleMania themes and SummerSlam themes. We talked Vince McMahon, how he used to do the intro, right? Welcome to WrestleMania! Man, we had so much fun, dude. And we picked on Michael Cole a lot. And, man, what an hour and 40 minutes. It went by fast. It didn't even seem like an hour and 40 minutes. You guys are rock stars. I have so much fun in those live streams, and I'm so glad that you guys enjoy them as well. I hope to do one for the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly review for SummerSlam. And you guys are talking about watch-alongs, right? You guys want to watch along. Maybe coming up, man. It's possible. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a watch-along for NXT or something. We'll test the waters. But seems like you guys are enjoying it, and I want to thank you guys, man. That was such a fun live stream, man. And everybody who super chatted and donated to the channel for the coffee addiction that I have. You guys are awesome too, man. VIPs for sure. Just everybody, man. Just everybody joining in the initial live chat as well. And just the AMP unit coming together as just the best wrestling fan in this community. And we just have a lot of fun. So I want to thank you guys. But yeah, back to the show, the ThunderDome. Vince McMahon, middle of the ring. The Fiend actually comes down to the ring, and I'm thinking this is interesting. If Vince is still in the ring and then he's face-to-face with the Fiend, that's pretty damn cool. Vince stayed pretty much, for the most part, socially distanced in the ring. They were never truly face-to-face, but Fiend would not let Vince out of the ring. Fiend kept stopping him, so that was pretty cool until Braun Strowman hit the ring. Braun now goes face-to-face with the Fiend, kind of. There was a couple of feet in between them. They were also socially distant. By that point, Vince McMahon was already out of the ring, so that was his escape. He literally just came down to say a few words, and that's probably for the best. This isn't Vince McMahon from 20 years ago, you know? He's in a little bit rougher shape these days. 70-something years old, that'll do it to you. But Braun Strowman's looking at Fiend, Fiend's looking at Strowman, and all of a sudden Retribution shows up on the apron. And there's about 20 of these dudes, 15, 20. There's a lot of them this time. And the Fiend just waves to Braun Strowman. You're like, bye, just like the Funhouse. The lights go out, the Fiend is gone, and when they come back up, Braun is left by himself. Retribution jumps onto Braun Strowman. The locker room empties out, and Retribution retreats. Again, like a bunch of teenagers running away from cops crashing a party. Or maybe the parents came home early. And they're running away, man, from the locker room. Like such tools. Bigger tools than they've looked in past weeks, throwing cinder blocks and vandalizing cars. The locker room is already chasing them away. What more do you need to see, right? They tried to act tough. They tried to be badass. The locker room comes out and they ran away. All right, back from break, we have Big E versus Sheamus. The locker room remains around ringside, anticipating another attack from Retribution. Sheamus gets distracted by some beef between Corbin and Riddle. We don't know if that's a confirmed match for SummerSlam, Riddle and Corbin, but they have this several-week beef that nobody really cares about. But that started up again last night when all the superstars are around ringside. Sheamus, for some reason, is watching this, and he gets rolled up by Big E. And Big E wins this match via... That's right, you heard me correctly, that awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating fruit roll-up. Because 6'4", 267-pound Sheamus can't get one of his shoulders just 1 inch off the canvas. 6'4", 267. And he can't get his shoulder 1 inch off that mat. Big E for the fucking roll-up victory. I hate roll-up victories. I can't stand roll-ups. It seems like every other match, somebody is winning via a fucking roll-up. You're not going to sell me that these people are having 10, 15, 20-minute matches, and it's a roll-up that they can't kick out of. Only in certain situations does it call for a roll-up victory. Anyway, Big E gets the fucking victory. Oh, I hate it. I can't stand that finish. Tag title match, champion Shinsuke and Cesaro taking on Lucha Summer College House Party. I'm surprised Retribution didn't show up to this fucking party, right? The other one they had to run away from. The parents came home. The cops were there. Fucking, why not show up to the Lucha Summer College House party? But no, this was a tag match that went off without any hinges. They kept a super fast pace the entire 8 minutes, and because of that, it got messy at times. And there were some gnarly botches in this match. But again, I know why. They really tried to entertain you second by second, man. The entire 8 minutes, they tried to go full throttle. So I'm willing to put aside the botches and the messy spots. Because all in all, I was actually entertained by this tag team match. Unfortunately, the finish was redundant, lazy, and flat out stupid. Cesaro wins via, wait for it, the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating fruit roll-up. That's right. Cesaro does some weird little roll-up type pin victory. And that's the tag titles. At least the titles stayed on Cesaro and Shinsuke, right? Could you imagine them just getting the titles a few weeks ago and then all of a sudden they already drop it in the middle of SmackDown like, oh, I don't know, AJ Styles did later in the night? So champions retain. I just hate that we had back-to-back roll-up victories. I hate roll-up victories. I cannot express that enough. I've said it a million times before. I'll say it a million times going forward. Next up, Sasha Banks and Bayley end hour number 1 with Pyro. There's a bonus. There's a plus from last night. There's a positive thing that happened last night. Sasha Banks, there was a moment where she held up 2 titles and Pyro went off behind her. Now, yes, it's not the ideal situation. There's still some controversy around how she won the Raw title. We're in this Wabaka, so there's no real live fans in attendance to enjoy this moment. She's attached to the hip, as always, with Bayley. So there's some downsides to it, but I always waited for that moment where Sasha was holding up all the gold and there was Pyro behind her. I got that moment last night, so that was fucking cool. They cut an interview segment with Corey Graves. Naomi hits the ring and challenges both Bayley and Sasha. Not sure why, just for bragging rights maybe. Maybe she was tired of them running their mouth. And Naomi wants to show that she can whoop them both. So I didn't mind it. It wasn't too unrealistic. It just kind of happened so suddenly. And Corey Graves suggests a beat the clock challenge. Beat the clock challenge? But what the fuck? For what? What are you? What's the goal? What's the cookie dangling on the stick at the end? Right? Is it a fucking macadamia cookie? Is it a black and white cookie? Is it one of those just regular plain sugar cookies? Double chocolate chip? What is dangling at the end? Why are they going to have a beat the clock challenge? For what? Shits and giggles? And as we begin hour number 2, it is Naomi versus Sasha Banks first. And Michael Cole explains what the rules are. Whoever can defeat Naomi the quickest gets to face Asuka second at SummerSlam. What the fuck? Just last week, not even last week, just a few nights ago on Monday Night Raw, Bayley announced middle of the ring that she was going to take on Asuka first. She said that with her own words. It was settled. Sasha said, okay, thank you, bestie. And we all went about our merry little way. And it's like WWE, either they totally forgot it, or they just thought, we should have done that better. We could have gotten a little bit more creative. Let's just hope everyone forgot about it. Let's not give a shit and let's do it anyway. And they did a beat the clock challenge. That makes no sense. You're going to get fans like me that remember what the fuck happened and want realism. There is literally zero continuity in this company. I've come to realize that over the last several years. Zero continuity. They're clueless. Fucking clueless. Naomi taps out to the bank statement in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. So that's a damn good time for Sasha Banks. Especially beating somebody the caliber of Naomi. But then Naomi rebounds huge. And she defeats Bayley in just over a minute and a half, I believe. So now Sasha will face Asuka second at SummerSlam. That's now official. Of course, we already knew that. Well, Bianca Belair for you. I'll stop. I can harp on this for a fucking hour. All of this was for nothing because it's something we already knew. They already made this decision on Raw. It wouldn't even make sense if they changed their minds and they wanted Sasha to go first now, so they had to come up with something different. It still wouldn't make sense. But the fact that it's the same fucking order. Bayley is still taking on Asuka first. Post-match, Asuka stands atop the ramp and she says she will be, and I quote, the empress of every title. She then hits the ring and she puts a whooping on Sasha and Bayley. Bayley runs right by Banks. I love Bayley's heel character. I tell you guys every week, she's gaining more and more traction and momentum. She's really finding her groove as a heel. And as a performer, Bayley is blossoming like a fucking caterpillar into a fucking butterfly. It's amazing to see Bayley, how stale and just you didn't even want to see her with this whole smiling, hugging character on the main roster. It's just awful. It was nothing like NXT, where we actually got behind Bayley. It was different. It was odd. We didn't want to see it. She looked like she was uncomfortable. It was weird, her main roster Bayley gimmick as a face. You see her as a fucking heel, and she's just coming into her own, man. Snarky comments, not giving a shit what people think or saying about her. Coming up with her own image, man, and it just continues to get better and better, and the comedy is gold. She runs by Sasha, who got flattened by Asuka. Sasha's like laying out in the rampway. Bayley runs right past. She don't give a shit. She's running for her own safety. Fucking love that. A minute later, she comes back. She's like, Sasha, okay? So little things like that, I know, kind of go past everybody else. I stop and I take the time to really appreciate those little things inside of a character. It's those things that I appreciate. And when I see a character literally getting better and better and gaining more momentum and achieving more from just their own hard work, things that they're changing within themselves, and I see progress in a character, man, those are the things that I just love. I sit back like a proud father and I'm like, yes, this is what needs to happen. It's just awesome. So I'm loving Bayley's work. Backstage, Dana Brooke walks up to Sonya Deville and says she's sorry for everything Deville went through this week. Of course, we're talking personally. And Deville says, nothing I can't handle, and then smacks the chiclets out of Brooke's mouth. I mean, this was a slap heard around the fucking WWE locker room, I'm sure. Sonya laid into a sumbitch. Laid into Dana Brooke. There's no way Dana Brooke don't have a mark this morning, man. That was awesome. Following a break, Sonya hits the top of the ramp, and when she raises the stakes with Mandy Rose and says, no more hair versus hair, that's nothing. People know damn well that I don't mind having my head. So she kind of broke down that fourth wall. She said straight out, we all knew I was losing that match. She didn't say it in those words, but she said, her exact words were, we all know I don't mind having a shaved head. What that meant, guys, was obviously she was losing this Sunday. And they were going to have her shave her head. So she came right out and she said, we all know what was basically going to happen. Let's raise the stakes. Career versus career. I wouldn't mind this if you told a better story to get us to that point. The story of Mandy and Sonya, by the way, is one of the best. That's not what I mean. Let me clarify. Because the story that they have is one of the best. I'm saying to get to a career versus career match, you need to set that up a little better. You can't have Mandy Rose 2 segments earlier want to be Sonya's friend again, because that's what happened. Mandy said, Sonya, I'm willing to forgive. I just want to be friends again. This is after Sonya Deville just put a huge ass whooping 2 weeks ago on Mandy. And now Mandy wants to be friends. And then 2 segments later, Sonya's like, let's do career versus career. And I'm like, wait, whoa, that came out of nowhere. Set it up better. So maybe that's a better way to clarify my words. The story's there, obviously. One of the best I've seen in months from anybody in WWE. But setting up career versus career, you can't just have her come out and declare career versus career. 2 segments after Mandy wants to be friends. It's just like they sabotaged their own awesome story last night. And it's not Sonya's fault and it's not Mandy's fault. Fucking the old man in Stanford. What was he thinking? Sonya's just splatting that out? You could do something throughout the night, a storyline arc. Set it up to why we now know why it's career versus career. You know? Or keep their heated feud so hot that it has to be career versus career. The WWE is not big enough for both of them. They cannot stand each other to the point where one of them has to go. Right? You tell that story. They didn't. Mandy Rose wants to be friends again. What? But I'm the negative one. BC, it makes sense. It's career versus career because they don't stand it. Exactly what you just said, BC. It's so hot and heated that they can't be around one another. One has to go. Okay, so set it up better. Why is Mandy declaring she wants to be friends again? Obviously, she doesn't have that heat anymore with Sonya. That's what I mean. I'm overthinking it just for using common sense? I don't get it. And again, it's such a shame that one of these ladies is leaving. We think it's going to be Mandy Rose, but it could be Sonya, man. I mean, Sonya, I don't know, man. It's just not cool because they were both hitting their stride. They were both going and hitting just... They were just gaining momentum, man. They were hitting the utmost in the momentum that they've ever seen before. They were really starting to hit that stride. And now one of them has to fucking go. Oh, you know, it's such a shame, man. Such a shame. Nikki Cross has a backstage promo detailing Alexa Bliss's changes since encountering the Fiend recently. She says, and I quote, "I just have a feeling that something bad is about to happen to Alexa." What bad is going to happen to Alexa? Is she going to turn into Sister Alexa Gale? Is that what's happening? Or is this all a ploy and she's going to help Braun Strowman Sunday? I have no fucking idea. Something bad is going to happen to Alexa Bliss. That's what Nikki Cross is saying. So, all right, we'll see what that is, man. Obviously, it's they're not done with Alexa involved with Bray and Braun, it looks like. Next is the IC title match. This is AJ Styles, the champion, versus Jeff Hardy, the challenger. Styles gave Hardy a cheap shot earlier in the night. So Hardy, storyline-wise, was playing with a bum wheel. This was actually at the beginning of the night when Retribution attacked, and Hardy was looking at one of the Retribution members. Styles attacked Hardy instead of Retribution, and then Styles ran away. So Hardy has a brace on his leg, and they're really playing it up throughout the night. Hardy actually kicks Styles in the dome piece in this match with the knee brace. He hits Twist of Fate, followed by a Swanton Bomb, and Jeff Hardy becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. That's right. New Intercontinental title holder, the middle of SmackDown. A match in a moment that should have been at SummerSlam. What the fuck? Seriously? Listen, that's awesome for Jeff. And trust me, he's more than deserving. And we love Jeff Hardy. But guys, Styles just got that title on June 12th. On that edition of SmackDown. So he's only held that title for 10 weeks. And that is how he loses the strap. Can't even give him a SummerSlam match. Can't even let him hold it more than 10 fucking weeks. Barely over 2 months. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's it. I have nothing. Great for Jeff, man. And again, we love Jeff. He's more than deserving. It's just, they plucked this moment and match from SummerSlam and put it in the middle of SmackDown. The IC title, and you wonder why the title's not prestigious, and half the champions these days aren't prestigious. They can't hold the title for more than fucking 2 months. It's exceptional if they can even hold it for 2 weeks these days. And the title themselves are meaningless. Meaningless. People hold on to their little fucking Wabaka masks they have to put in when you go into stores and restaurants these days, or whatever the fuck, you know, the mask you have to wear. People hold on to them longer than people hold on to championships these days. That's fucking sad. Now, I loved the following Firefly Funhouse segment. I truly did. Strowman invades the Funhouse. Somehow he finds the portal to the firehouse. Bunch of firemen come out. He finds the portal to the Funhouse. But right before he strikes, Bray Wyatt senses Strowman is near. He, senses his sense. You know, he's, smelling and sniffing. And he looks at the camera, and Bray Wyatt says, what did he say? Oh, I fucking forgot. What did Bray Wyatt say? Oh, yeah. He said, "What took you so long?" He didn't even look toward where Braun was coming. It's like he was waiting for it. And he accepted that he was about to take a whooping. I love that, man. And Strowman beats on Wyatt, and then he drags Wyatt out off a frame. And he says, "You're coming with me. I'm not finished with you." And you see the feet of Wyatt, and he's being dragged off a frame. We fade to black into commercial. I love that Firefly Funhouse. Not Firehouse. I love that whole segment. And when we come back from break, Strowman chokeslams Wyatt off of a loading dock several feet down onto the concrete. Now, you could totally tell there was a huge padding area there, because when he got dumped, you saw Wyatt's feet kind of just stayed there for a second, or you could tell there was a bouncing effect. So they could have done that a little better, but the illusion anyway is that he fell several feet down into concrete. So I like that, man. I'm always willing to suspend disbelief in pro wrestling. Just give me some cool shit. I felt this was cool. Didn't they do that with Roman Reigns and Wyatt? I'm sorry, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman back in the day with their feud. I think somebody went off a loading dock. Wasn't that Roman? Somebody went off I don't know, man. It reminded me of they did something like this a few years ago. I think Strowman was involved. But either way, man, Wyatt is down and out, and we go through the whole ordeal of officials and EMTs kind of all surrounding Wyatt because he's down and out. And this was not realistic, because if this was a real situation, EMTs would be really fragile with Wyatt, and they would take several minutes positioning his neck and all that stuff. They literally flipped him over like he was a pizza. They just yanked him up like he was a sheet and you're making your bed. They flipped him up, they dumped him right on the fucking gurney, and they just threw him into the ambulance. I was like, whoa, okay, that was what if he had some broken bones, man? You can't do it like that. But obviously they were pressed for time, because time management, what the fuck is that? WWE doesn't do time management. So the Fiend gets loaded into the ambulance. Everybody's yelling, go, go, what are you waiting for? The ambulance stops. It starts to go in reverse. You start to see smoke coming from and fog coming from the ambulance. Then you see the red light dome in the ambulance, this red beaming light. They show a bunch of officials and maybe other medical personnel. They show everybody in the background, and they're all like they saw a ghost. When the camera pans back to the ambulance, it's not a ghost, but it's a Fiend. The ambulance doors are open, the red light's beaming, the fog's bumping out, and you have the Fiend just standing on the ambulance, and he's just laughing hysterically, tongues out, and we end with the "let me in" those graphics, and that's how we go to black, and we end the go-home show to SummerSlam 2020. I didn't mind that at all. The ending segment and a couple of segments, the Firefly Funhouse and the ending, I liked it. You know what I mean? Have some fun with it. You know, they involved the loading dock, they involved the ambulance, they had Braun invade the funhouse. You know, sometimes it's not overabundance of creativity. I'm not asking you to move mountains. I'm just asking you to get creative. They did that last night. Simplistically, right? Minor creativity, but I'll take it. That's all I'm asking for. You know, if you really want to surprise the Amplified Man and go balls to the wall, then you'll do something so creative that we're like, whoa! Did you see that? I don't think we're ever going to have one of those moments, at least not for a long time. I don't know if anybody's creative enough to do that within WWE, and I don't think the old man is going to move out of their way to be that creative. But if you really want to wow me, you got to wow me. But I'll take minor creativity along the way. So I like that ending segment. And I love the fact that Sasha had pyro. And aside from that, I can't tell you anything else that was good in this night. I can't. You know, we have a new dome. I think it's an upgrade from the Performance Center. But the show itself is still the show itself. It looks like it's the same BS. They changed the outlook. They changed the exterior, so to speak. They did nothing with their interior. They did not change from within, and that showed last night. And until they do that, we're not going to see real change in this company. That was your go-home show to SummerSlam. There's no more shows, guys, main roster-wise. Tonight, obviously, is NXT TakeOver. That's going to be some shit, man. We got some great matches there. Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee, a ladder match for the North American Championship. Just a lot of good shit that is going to go down tonight. But for the main roster, that SmackDown was it. Now we just gear up for SummerSlam. And they're going to work out the kinks in the ThunderDome, obviously. And SummerSlam should be a little bit better. Production-wise. We're hoping anyway. But yeah, that was it, guys. Again, thank you all for the live stream yesterday. Again, I can't thank you enough. That was so much fun. We'll do it again coming up at some point. Hopefully for the good, the bad, and the ugly of SummerSlam. That'll be my next main roster video. I hope to have tomorrow morning, be on the lookout, I hope to have a takeover. A takeover review and reaction. Not a good, the bad, and the ugly. I was thinking about it, but no, that's not, we're not there yet. Just a regular review, but on TakeOver 30, so I will have that tomorrow. And I'm experimenting maybe in the future with watch-along, so always check the channel when there's a show. Maybe I'll do some test runs, and I'll watch a SmackDown or watch a Raw with you guys, kind of like in live stream format. So that's what I mean about always checking the tube, man. Always being subscribed and notified. Thank you all, man. Especially those of you that have been subscribed from day one, man. My tried and true amplified unit, you guys rock. And here it is, man. Second biggest event of the year, whether it feels like it or not, whether it crept up on us kind of fast or not. None of it matters anymore. SummerSlam is here. And half the card looks pretty diesel. The other half could put you to sleep. We'll see. The next main roster show here on this channel will be the review of SummerSlam. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll see you guys then. It'll be live, too, so make sure you're notified, man. I'm not going to tell you guys. I don't go on social media and tell you guys I'm going live. I'm just going to go live Monday morning. So, that's what I mean. Be notified, man, because you're going to miss the live stream. You're going to miss the good, the bad, and the ugly if you're not in tune with the channel. All right, coffees and ass whoopings. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'll see you in the morning for NXT's TakeOver 30 review. For now, check you later.